Hello my dear students, welcome back to your favorite channel NEET World. This is Vasavi Ma'am, your biology educator. Yes, so students, if you quickly recall, in the previous session we have done with the first chapter completely, that is cell, the fundamental unit of life, as well as we have discussed in detail about all the different types of animal tissues, my dear students. So now in this particular session we are going to move towards the another most important chapter, that is diversity in the living organisms of your class 9th CBSE biology. Yes, so without any delay, let's get started with this session. Yes, so what are the main fundamental insights that you are going to learn from this particular chapter is, yes, you will learn what is biodiversity, and you are also going to learn in detail about the classification, relationship between classification and evolution, and binomial nomenclature. Yes, I am going to explain you each and everything in detail, my dear students. So stay tuned until the session gets end. Yes, so now let us look into the weightage of this particular chapter. Yes, so this chapter is going to include 20 to 15% of the weightage, and we can expect 4 to 5 marks. Yes, so 4 to 5 marks you are going to expect from this particular chapter. Yes, so students, try to remember that this chapter, diversity in the living organism, same chapter you are going to learn again in detail in your 11th standard also, my dear students. So this chapter is important for your entrance examinations like NEET and EAP set. So start your preparation very strongly from the foundation itself. Yes, yes students. So yes, first let's understand what is biodiversity. Yes, can you see this beautiful picture behind me? Yes. So what is biodiversity? Please quickly answer me in the comment sections. Yes. So biodiversity. So what is diversity? What does the term diversity refers to? So diversity is nothing but variety. Okay, so in our daily life we are going to see variety of colors, variety of chocolates, variety of toys, etc. Okay, so the term diversity is going to refer to that variety. Okay, so biodiversity in the sense variety of organisms which are present in an given ecosystem is called as biodiversity. If we quickly if you see into this particular beautiful picture, here we can find different types of aquatic organisms, different types of terrestrial organisms, terrestrial animals. We can see different types of plants, different types of flowering animals, insects. These all, okay, these all are different types of organisms and variety of organisms which are going to live together in an ecosystem is called as biodiversity. Yes. So now what is classification? Yes. So in this particular subtopic, okay, here you are going to learn about the two different types of classifications, my dear students. You are going to learn about the classification in plants, yes, in plants, as well as you are going to learn about the classification in animals. Yes. So when it comes to the plants, there you are going to learn about the 5 kingdom system of classification, where you will learn different types like kingdom, Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia and Monera. Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. These all you are going to learn under the 5 kingdom classification, and then when it comes to the animal kingdom of classification, there you are going to learn about 10 different types of phylums, 10 different types of phylums based on the levels of organization. So you are going to cover completely under this particular subtopic, that is classification, and next you are going to understand in detail about the relationship between classification and evolution. Yes. So what does the term evolution refers to? The genetic changes, okay, the genetic changes which is going to take place in an organism from different generations. Okay, the genetic changes of an organisms during the generation times is called as evolution. How these organisms are going to change during the particular time period, that all you are going to learn under the relationship between classification and evolution. And next you are also going to understand in detail about binomial nomenclature. So first of all, what is nomenclature, my dear students? Yes. So simply nomenclature is nothing but providing a scientific and standardized name to the particular identified organism is called as binomial nomenclature. Yes. So scientist has provided few scientific names to the identified microorganisms. Okay, by that organism is going to be well known towards an entire the world students. So that is called as nomenclature. Nomenclature is simply nothing but providing the scientific name to an identified organism is called as nomenclature. Generally scientists provide these nomenclature to know that organism should be well known towards the entire world. Okay, yes, that is all about the binomial nomenclature. Yes. So now let us learn about the biodiversity in detail. Yes. So today in this session we are going to discuss, okay, in this today's session we are going to complete the general introduction of the biodiversity, and we are also going to discuss in short about the classification, my dear students. Yes. So look here, biodiversity. Yes. So biodiversity is nothing but the variety of life forms. So in that variety, what it is going to include? The varieties of flora and the variety of fauna. Okay, variety of life forms which includes flora and fauna. Okay, generally we have 1.7 to 1.8 millions of microorganisms on the earth. Okay, so generally in our daily life we are going to see different types of microorganisms. We see different types of animals, different types of plants, different types of flowers. Okay, we are going to see variety of these all things. Okay, but can you remember, each organism is different in shape, size, structure, color, internal and external structure, nutrition, behavior, etc. Clear about these, students? So now example, if you take the cow. Okay, so what is cow? Actually cow is, yes, so it is going to eat only plants. Okay, it is herbivorous animal. Okay, that type of, that nutrition is particular cow is going to include under the herbivores. Okay, when we are going to take the example of lion, it is going to eat flesh. Okay, so it is a carnivore. So each and every organism is different in their mode of nutrition, and when it comes to the size, okay, so each and every organism is also going to vary from its size. Not all the organisms are not equal in the size, okay, and they are not equal in the height. Okay, every organism is going to vary, and it is also going to vary from the internal and external structure as well, my dear students. Some butterflies, okay, if we take the example of the butterflies, some of them are black, some of them are red, and some of them are multicolored. So they are going to differ in the color also, and they are going to differ in the structure also. So in this way, all the organisms are different in shape, size, structure, mode of nutrition and behavior. Yes. So but here is a main point, students. So all the organisms are different and all are going to show variety in nature from one another, but all are interrelated to one another. See how this particular definition is going to define. Once look into this particular picture, my dear students. So here we can see variety of organisms. You can see the mouse, you can see grasshopper, frog, owl, okay, rabbit, fox, hawk, different types. Okay, but here all are living together, but here each and every organism is different in size, shape, structure, mode of nutrition and color also, my dear students, but all are interrelated. How? See here. See, grass is eaten by grasshopper, the grasshopper is eaten by the birds, birds are eaten by the snakes. Isn't it or not, students? So see, this is going to represent a food chain, my dear students. You are also going to learn about the food chain, food web, everything in the upcoming chapters. But as if now, look into this particular picture. Yes, now again if you see the mouse, okay, so grass is eaten by the mouse and mouse is eaten by the owl, okay, and this owl is eaten by the hawk. So now remember, if you are going to remove this particular owl from this particular ecosystem, then what it is going to happen? Which population is going to increase more, my dear students? Mouse. Okay, so the mouse is going to be increased in its population. So similarly, when you are going to remove this grasshopper, okay, when you are going to remove the grasshopper, which animal, okay, what it is going to be increased? birds are going to be increased more in number. So similarly, when you are going to remove this particular hawk, okay, then owls become more in number. So when you are going to remove this bird, example, okay, so when you are going to remove the bird from the ecosystem, then what happens? The population of the snakes is going to increase, okay. So when all the snakes population is going to increase, what happens, my dear students? Then, okay, this population is going to be increased and these particular birds are going to be removed and excluded from the ecosystem. So it means that each and every organism is interrelated to one another. If you are going to disturb any of the organism in the particular ecosystem, then we are going to call it as the ecosystem is going to be unstabilized, okay, then we cannot find the sustainable ecosystem, okay. So in the ecosystem, each and every organism is going to play its key role and all the organisms are interrelated to one another. If you are going to disturb any of the organism, or else if you are going to remove any of the organism from the ecosystem, then what happens? Completely it is going to be disturbed and there we cannot find the sustainable ecosystem. Yes. So this is about the diversity, okay. This is generally about the biodiversity. It indicates that different types of microorganisms and different types of plants, animals which are going to live together in an ecosystem, and all the organisms are going to vary in its shape, mode of nutrition, structure, either internally or externally, but at the end all the organisms are going to depend on one another. If we disturb any of the particular organism from this food chain, then the population may either increase or decrease. Finally it leads to the finally it leads to the unstabilized ecosystem. Yes. So now look here, students. So classification of living organisms, okay. So here when we have seen here, different types of organisms are present here. We can find different types of plants, different types of terrestrial animals, different types of insects, different types of flowers, and here are the different types of aquatic animals, okay. So when all these organisms are grouped together, can we separate them one by one correctly? We cannot separate them, okay. So to separate all the organisms and to categorize all these organisms, we need to classify them, okay. So that is only called as the classification. So classification is nothing but dividing or grouping of the organisms based on the similarities and dissimilarities. Yes. See here, the arrangement of organisms into different categories based on the similarities and dissimilarities. Yes. So for this example, if we take all the flowering plants, okay. So all the flowering plants are placed under the group of angiosperms, okay. All the different types of flowering plants are placed under the angiosperms, and all the non-flowering plants are going to come under the gymnosperms. Similarly, if you take all the different types of insects, those are going to be included under the phylum of Arthropoda. So we are going to classify the organisms based on their similarities, based on few characteristic features. We are going to divide them into different categories. And see here, zoologist and botanist, okay. So who is zoologist? The person who is going to study and classify the animals, and botanist is nothing but who is going to classify and who is going to study the characteristics of the animals. So zoologist and botanist classified various organisms based on similarities and differences in the structure, development, behavior is called as classification. Clear with this particular statement, my dear students? So dividing all the plants based on its structure and characteristics, and dividing all the animals based on its similarities and dissimilarities, it is called as the classification. So why and what is the main purpose of the classification? Yes, now let us look into that. Yes. So the branch of biology concerned with the classification is called as taxonomy. This particular method of categorizing the organisms based on its characteristic features is called, okay, that particular process and that particular branch of biology is called as taxonomy. We are also going to learn about the taxonomy also, my dear students. Yes. So now see here. So what is the main purpose? Okay, what are the main benefits of the classification? Look into this. So classification is going to make the study of the organisms easier. Yes. So suppose if we are going to conduct one game, okay. So suppose we are going to conduct any particular game in your school. So some of the students are going to become the team for the volleyball, and some of the students are included under the team of carom. So to play the carom, there we cannot require any height, okay. There we are not going to consider the particular height and particular weight of the student. But when we want to separate the students for the team of volleyball, then we have to select the students based on the height, okay. So here what we are doing, we are categorizing the students to separate them into different types of teams based on their heights, okay. So this is the main idea of the classification, my dear students. So classification is going to divide the groups, okay. Classification is going to divide based on the similarities and dissimilarities, yes. So when we are going to divide all the organisms based on its characteristics, then it becomes easier for us to okay, then it becomes for us to learn about it, yes. So and it provides the knowledge about origin of the organisms, yes. So when we are going to classify, we are also going to understand how that particular organism has been originated, yes. So when we are going to learn about the phylum Porifera, so that is the first phylum where we are going to learn only about the cellular level of the organization, my dear students. So it is going to show the origin from where to where it is going to be considered, yes. And instead of studying the single plant group or single animal group, classification provides the general information about all the organisms of that particular group, yes. So now we can find different types of, yes, regarding this particular statement. So here is an example just I am giving you, students, yes. So in our daily life we are going to see different types of plants, okay. So it is not required, okay, it is not necessary to learn each plant in detail, but generally all the plants, okay, all the plants are autotrophic in nature and they are green in color due to the presence of chlorophyll, and they contain the cell organelle called as chloroplast, okay. Yes. So this is the general information. So instead of learning about single variety of the plants, you can learn, okay, when we are going to classify all the plants under the kingdom of the plant A, then you are going to learn about the characteristics, okay. It is going to make easy for you to understand and to study the single plant group or single animal group. When you are going to classify, then you are going to understand easily what are the actual characteristics of that particular plants or else the animals, yes. So this is all about the general introduction of the biodiversity, and it is all about the general introduction of the classification. In the next session we are going to learn about the, yes, in the next session we are going to learn about the relationships between the classification and evolution, and we are also going to learn about the binomial nomenclature also, my dear students, yes. So stay tuned for the next upcoming session. Like, share and subscribe to NEET World.